Welcome to a belated MacroMicroCosm book review. Today we are reviewing The Order of Time by Dr. Carlo Rovelli, published originally in Italian by Adelphi Edizioni S.p.A., translated in 2018 by Simon Carnell and Erica Segre, and published into English by Riverhead Books. I purchased The Order of Time after a colleague of mine recommended it, and I am glad he did. As this is a translation, I will be reviewing the English version. The Order of Time by Carlo Rovelli is a magnificent and poetic glimpse into the nature of time and how wrong we are to hear the ticking clock as gospel. The Order of Time starts each chapter with verses of poetry as carefully curated as a thesis's bibliography. Rovelli's cadence and writing style is approachable and intelligent. This is, above all, one of the best crafted books I've read in years. Congratulations to the translators for maintaining the voice of Rovelli in the translation. I think they did a very good job. Imagine time as a linear arrow, pointed, a vector of magnitude and direction. Notch it on the bow of your cognizance. Let fly the arrow, never to be seen or experienced again. Time, absolute and linear, is a construct of faulty understanding. Reality is a far more conical and quantum-looped affair, according to Dr. Carlo Rovelli. We can explain the entire universe without it, he says. For a scientific treatise shaking up our global view of time, The Order of Time was a complex but accomplishable read. Anyone with some post-secondary education or apropos pluck and desire can, with Rovelli's constant use of allegory and explanations, understand the often staggering physics. There were a few pages where he proceeds with explanations on mathematics and formulae, but then he goes onward using some form of story or parable to help explain what he just put down. That alone made The Order of Time an understandable read. It feels odd on the advent of 10 years post-university to say I, an English literature and film graduate, love physics. Somehow, with the moniker of the arts, it feels like a false front to dive into the worlds of Einstein and Gödel with an aplomb akin to enthusiasm, but I do. Rovelli is a master at using contradictions to prove his point and bring even an interested layman like myself into temporal physics, quantum mechanics, and the debates between Newton, Aristotle, and modern names I, as a consumer, cannot pronounce. I think where Carlo loses me is his discussion about the nature of personal identity and consciousness. There is no beauty in Rovelli's assertion that we are but dots on a map, event stabilizers, relativistic measuring points for entropic events. Humans discern ourselves through interactions, and unlike Rovelli's hypothesis, through pattern recognition and intrinsic divine introspection. I cannot see myself without the solitary quality which remains regardless of stimuli or environment, intrinsic soul, if you will. Maybe it's the rebel in me, but I cannot abide being the universe's small collection of interpreted stimuli, nor do I personally abide by all things being a representation of suffering. Well written, intellectually stimulating, The Order of Time encouraged philosophical discussion between my spouse and I. This is the kind of poetry which influenced Kepler's views of the spheres or the walks between Einstein and Gödel. The translation team and Rovelli's use of language is flawless, and by the second half, The Order of Time reads like a man's will and testament of ideal. In his lack of lethal fear, I find a harder concept than Rovelli's non-temporal universe. And if an angel were to come for me right now, saying, "Carlo, it's time," I would not ask to be left even long enough to finish this sentence, he says on page 240 on my Kindle edition. He comforts the difficulties of death by affirming that he believes, and I quote, The fear of death is the result of an accidental and clumsy interference between two distinct evolutionary pressures, the product of bad automatic connections in our brain rather than something that has any use or meaning. Everything has a limited duration, even the human race itself. That again was from page 240 on my Kindle edition. While on the outside, The Order of Time is a book on the physics of time, it unravels both time and itself to reveal a treatise on all reality. While I do not agree with all of Rovelli's premise, I am glad I read it, and especially glad for the conversations it produced. You cannot see time without seeing ourselves. You cannot experience time without taking a look at the way that our universe functions. So, in its intrinsic nature, The Order of Time is a book on all reality, not this one small ticking clock. The Order of Time is worthy of its bestseller status and myriad praise. For those of us who love physics or philosophy, or those who wish to expand their understanding of the cosmos, The Order of Time is an essential read. Congratulations, Dr. Rovelli. I look forward to reading the rest of your work. If you have a book you would like to be reviewed, please visit our website, www.vræydamedia.ca/macromicrocosm. The link is in the description box below. Please follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel and podcast for weekly reviews. And sorry it took me so long to get this one out. I'd been ill recently and couldn't get the pluck up to sit in front of a microphone for as long as it takes to do the podcast. Have a fantastically creative day.